Up to this point, we've been using divs and giving them classes and IDs to tell them to be things like the navigation and the footer and the header, which works okay. But there's definitely a better way, and a way that will give your site more meaning. It'll help browsers and developers understand what things are. Because giving it an ID or a class inside of a div, you can name it anything you want. It doesn't really give it meaning. But if you have a uniform set of tags, right, that gives it more meaning. So semantic tags help a browser understand what something is supposed to be. Like when you call it nav, it knows it's navigation, or footer, it knows it's the footer. So here's a set of tags, and we're going to use many of these and just change the markup of an existing file. So we're going to come down here to the semantic tags HTML, click on that thing, and go ahead and download it. So it's just this basic HTML. And we'll save that, semantic tags, that's great. And I'm going to go ahead and open that inside of brackets. And here's what it looks like. So we're going to use those tags. And it'll give you a list down here in the rubric, right? You want to use header, nav, main, section, article, aside, and footer to put in here to create the markup, so it looks better in a website, or a search engine could understand it better. Here's some templates, some basic ideas. So when you have a header, you don't want to put a div and put class header. You just want to put it in header tags. An aside is usually something that goes to the side, or something that's not as important. It's not the main content. It'll go over to the side. That's an aside. Footer, I'm going to put it in footer tags. Sections are just pieces of broken up content, and then you can put articles within those. Sometimes you will also have a main section, so I might have multiple articles and put main tags around it. So let's just jump in and kind of look at how this works. So if I look at my HTML here, I can see, so there's my title of my site. So around that, I'm going to most likely have header tags. And we'll take that one. I'm going to Control X and cut it, and that should go right below my main site title, right? The big title. I'm going to have header tags. All right, so there it is. So I got header tags around it. And if I look, here's my home, about, our work, contact. So that would be my navigation section. So there's my nav. I'm going to cut that, put it down here at the bottom, and I'm going to hit my, there we go. So we've got a header section, we've got nav, so everything in between these two tags the browser knows is the navigation. And then I might come down here and I'll say, okay, here's some main content. Oh, that's a right column. And then I have down here that looks like the footer. So I might as well just go right now and say footer. So that's the footer. Here's my footer. And then, let's see, right column, this should be floating to the right. So this is probably my aside. And then here we go. We got main content. So this is most likely a section. Let's just do both, just so you can try it. But we'll call it, this is your main content. So maybe let's see, main. All of this is my main content, we'll say. And it's up to you kind of how you tell it what to be. But I feel like this would probably all be the main content, including the right column in this case. So we'll surround all of that in main tags. And then this part right here, this is going to be my section. This is, all right, you can have multiple sections, you can have multiple asides, you can have multiple articles. So we'll call that a section. And then maybe within that section, we're going to call this is my article, this piece of information here. And there you go. So if we look at it again, right, we've got a header, and then we have a nav. We've got a main section that goes all the way, and it includes this. We've got main, which includes this section and the article, as well as this aside. We have a section, which is this H2 header and all that information. Then we have an article, which is the information. We have an aside, which is going to float over there to the right, probably. And then we have a footer section. Now, inside the CSS, you are going to name things like so. You don't need to say .nav because it's not a class. It's just inside a nav tag. So all you need to say is nav or header or footer or whatever it might be. And that's pretty much it. So go ahead and save that and turn it in, and from now on go ahead and try to use semantic tags and elements.